Best jump in Canadian motocross, Tommy Gunn with the lead. Gerke's got chain issues. This is Riverglade in Moncton. Oh, Fat Yotes and Thompson contact. A stall, and Yotes takes the first moto win. Yotes hole shots the second moto, and then Gerke hunted him down. Big pass through the mechanics area. Gerke salvages. Fashodi takes the overall 23-point lead for Gerke. Welcome to round 9 of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. This week, Motocross Ulverton, just south of the gorgeous town of Montreal, Quebec. Today's MX1 racing will be brought to you by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports, parts, and accessories. Okay, Babs, MX1 pilots on the line after they have qualified with their gate selections. Great shot of the uphill start. This is probably one of the best and fastest starts on the series.
Yeah, it is super cool here. I love this shot of the riders packing down their gates. There's Metcalf kibitzing it up with Rarick to the points after 8 of 10. Gerke's starting to pull away a bit, but Fasciotti and Metcalf, along with Thompson, they still got a shot at top 3 glory.
Let's go down to our bottom 5. Canary, Clayson, Keith, Teddy Mayer, who we won't see anymore because of that injury, in 9th, and Dylan Schmoke, a solid 10th. All right, Babs, riders now going out onto parade. Love this little setup as they come out of staging underneath the Rockstar tent with the models right there, and then up for parade to check out the lines on this track. And again, when we talk about this track, sand track, but not like the sand tracks we've seen before. There's lines all over the place. This was a fast circuit.
Huge elevation changes, Travs, and this start, it doesn't look that steep, but I tell you, you walk from the bottom to the top, you are huffing and puffing. A lot of small little stones down in that treed Marin section, and the last corner before the Rockstar finish line that we see right there. Come to the track and get a free Rockstar. I want 2.
Welcome back to Motocross Ulverton in round 9 of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Chavez and Brian Coster in the booth as we get set for MX1 racing. This first MX1 moto will be brought to you by RoyalDistributing.com, Canada's power sports leader. And the lovely LO playing off the camera, isn't that lovely? Amber's got the 30 board up, Sir Paul Kingsley in his perch, and the MX1 pilots are on the line.
It's a hot day. You can see mechanics fanning their riders. They're doing their last-minute little adjustments. Meddy's slapping his hands. Rarick, he's got his little thing going there. Swansea, he's got his little this, that, and the other thing. 5-second board is up, Travs. All eyes focused on the gate.
Riders now waiting for that 5 to go sideways. Yes, it does. Heads down, eyes on the gate, waiting for it to drop, and it's down, Brian. Here they go, big uphill, MX1 racing upon us.
On the inside of number 3, Tyler Medallia does not get a great start, but the rider beside him, Cole Thompson, kind of gets in the mix, but it is Fasciotti right now, and in the whole shot, it's the number 26 of Michael Da Silva, local young Quebec rider. Awesome.
On board with the drift action, Cam, that's the 24 of Swanson. Devil's Lake Yamaha, he had that inside line, had a great start. Oh my goodness, through that FXR button hook. Competition up front is tough.
Bobby Canary quickly gets by DeSilvio. Colton having a peek on the inside. DeSilva's a fast rider, and talk about a strong kid. I'm telling you, I think after motocross, he could have a career in bear wrestling or something. The guy is a whoop.
Da Silva's part of a great motocross family out of Quebec, and the nice thing about Da Silva, he's been riding for 2 teams, the RTR out west and the Delahaye team in the east. So I like to see that support. Fasciotti in the wide side through the Marin corner. Here comes Cole Thompson, and Gorky's in the mix as well.
Fat Yotes finally gets by the Delahaye KTM of Da Silva. Gerke challenging, but Thompson from a mediocre start right up in the mix, and then it's the 123, the Aussie Brett Metcalf on that leading edge Kawasaki. Sitting like 6th.
Saw the number 17 of Seth Rarick, who's bumped up from the MX2 class into the MX1 class. But getting back to Da Silva, one of those young Canadians that you really want to see do well. Great start for him.
Yeah, on board now with Devil's Lake Yamaha, Kyle Sampson. He's got the hair of Samson, but his name is Swanson, and Swanson's always getting great starts. What a find for the Devil's Lake boys to pick up Swanee halfway through the year.
But that angle right there clearly showed Da Silva getting that Royal Distributing whole shot, $300 in his jeans and looking good. The battle now is for the lead to the uphill Motul corner, and then they drop away, Brian. This part of the track really separates the men from the boys because it's fast and rough, and you have to be in control.
You got that right, and there is a bit of a booter at the top. The rider's not so aggressive here on the opening laps around the outside. Fasciotti gets the pass done. So first place right now up that Royal Distributing start, shoot. What a dynamic racetrack, just gorgeous soil, and the berms out here allow the riders to really hang it out and get loose in the turns.
Down in that Dunlop corner, Canary had the inside line and hit a bunch of chops, so that's why Fasciati was able to carry on the outside. Looks like Thompson now gets by De Silva, wide lines. That's the thing about this track, it's not ruddy, Brian, it's flowy.
Yeah, there's lots of room to play and use those crisscross maneuvers, and just a beautiful big drop away. They drop about 40, 50 feet there, and look at Rarick landing with the leg out. Nice style as he works on De Silvio.
Rarick was riding the KTM, as we talked about, for the Redemption Racing squad. He left that squad. Now he's on the Yamaha, the MX1 class. Like to see him up there. He's got the speed. Big, lanky guy. Look at this little package for second place. Canary, Metcalf, Gerke. Look at Gerk's on the outside with the leg work.
What a great move by Gerk. Holy smokes. He just railed the outside there. There's that hipper on the inside. And I've seen passes there both from the inside and the outside. So it's anyone's call there.
Second place battle now coming through that Yamaha corner at the bottom of the hill. Absolutely dynamic track, lines everywhere. Canary's got his hands full with the Aussie. That's the 123. That beautiful line for Metcalf on the wide side, super smooth. You really have to have an eye for lines on this track.
Well, that's where Metcalf shines. He knows how to look around, all that experience, all that racecraft into play as he works up on the 7 of Bobby K, who was leading here earlier by the mechanics area. Up the gears, wide open as fast as these factory 450s will go. The Quacker on the outside does the cut-in, but Bobby's got great defense.
Oh, here comes Medis. He crosses over and goes inside. Look at how roughness at the bottom of that Cowie corner. Kawasaki corner, Kawasaki pass for Metcalf. Remember, Canary had that huge crash last weekend in Moncton, dislocated his jaw. He might have had the bruised pumpkin, but he's still out here riding. Great start for him.
Well, he's got a couple cracked ribs and a broken foot, so this kid is tough as nails. Well, kid, this man is tough as they come. Now it's the 148 of the Fox KTM of Cole Thompson that's joined the party. What a great ride for Thompson. He's gained a lot of real estate up here on this lead package, and he's making a move up. Oh boy, through the Dunlop corner, over the chasm. Next one on the block is Medi.
So much power available on the 450s when you want it, Brian, especially on a track like this, when the riders this morning were talking about how fast this track is pinned on a 450 in some places.
Yeah, it is just choice. Now here comes Bob. He thinks he's working Medi to the outside. Medi does the crisscross, and that's what we talked about earlier. There's not a lot of ruts out here, so the crisscrosses can happen, but the braking bumps are getting big, so Medi's still a real heads-up move. Takes Bob to the outside as they grab some more gears going up, and there's De Silva still hanging tough, and Rare, both mechanics giving them their encouragement.
I see the number 3 of Tyler Medallia, mentioned him off the top, not getting a great start, and Swanson. This battle is for 6th place, Brian. Dynamite to see a couple of fresh faces up here. De Silva's been amazing in this moto, and getting better as the season's been going on.
What happens for a rider like De Silva when you get up in the lead and run with those top riders? You get into their lines and they're flowing. It kind of comes easy while you're following them until you kind of hit the wall and tighten up a bit running up front. But now the number 3, the Husky of Tyler Medallia, is getting busy on Rarick. Rarick new on the 450, really adapting well to the big Yamaha. But on the outside, it is Tyler Medallia. But up here, that single hipper, Rarick's got the inside. Can he park him? Oh, Rarick, very gentle. He's on lots of room.
He was very gentle. You know what? I think there's a bit of intimidation factor on the track, Brian, with some of these big-name riders, the low numbers. You feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Here comes the 160. John Dowd. He will be 50 years old this weekend, Brian. Right now, racing in the top 10. Spectacular. Swanson has him on the outside, at least for now.
Swanson's like 23 years old, and there is John Junkyard Dog, a legend of the sport, will be 50 tomorrow, actually, and he is out here duking it out with these riders. Now, back to the front, Gerke and Metcalf. These two, we've seen them have some wicked battles this year as they get together, but out front, it is Canadian hero Colton Fasciati right there, only about a second and a half ahead of these two.
Gerke used the outside line last lap to pass Canary, this time going over the hipper. Metcalf inside through the Rockstar lock-off into the gully. Does he have him? I think so. That's a big pass for second, because Gerke's basically had Metcalf's number almost all season.
Well, these two have definitely been fighting hard. Metcalf came out and swept both motos at round 1. Gerke swept both motos at Gopher Dunes, the only round that was swept by anyone. And look at Metcalf right now, though. He is jumping down a little farther down that hill, and Tyler gets a little squirrely. This is a real rough part of the track. Huge braking bumps into this berm. Oh no! Tyler goes way over the top, and that's a long way when you fall off. You don't realize that's such a steep drop there on the outside. I think what happened was a rider had come through and gotten squirrely earlier and blown out that berm. Ty was getting on the gas, and there was no hookup left.
This top 6 has been so fast, and Medallia didn't lose any positions there, Brian. Let's go back to that pass for second place. Metcalf on the inside.
Metcalf jumps there, and I love this. You expect him to whip it the other way, and he whips it right at Gerke. It's a left turn coming up. Metcalf whips it to the right. This guy's magic on the bike, and he just parks himself on the inside. Gerke's got to back out of it, and then Gerke goes way to the inside to try and recover, but all for naught.
To our leader, the number 1, a Colton Bassiardi. GDR Honda's been in the lead since the second corner. Absolutely gorgeous. He's got a habit of winning the first motos, Brian, and here we are in round 9. He's going to win another one. What we'd like to see from Bassiardi is get that clean sweep you mentioned about.
Well, that's 3 moto wins in a row. First moto wins in a row for Fat Yotes, and he didn't win a moto up until round 6. So he's really coming off of that injury and coming into his own.
Let's get to our top 10 Yamaha leaderboard. First MX1 moto, you know your top 3. Thompson with a quiet moto in 4th. Babs, take it from 6 down.
Well, Bob hangs on, and how about Medallia, Clayson, Dowdy in 8th. 1 ahead of Swanson at the end. Then it's Keeston. You know, with that win for Bassiardi and Gerke 3rd, that tightens the points gap.
Winning the first MX1 moto here from the Motocross to Ulverton is the number 1 of Colton Bassiardi. Colt, you got into the lead quick and rode almost a perfect race to take the win. Congratulations.
Yeah, I made a few mistakes early and just told myself just smooth it out, just ride like it was practice, and you know, I was having fun out there on that track. It's got some cool floating jumps, and the dirt was perfect out there, so I couldn't ask for a better racetrack.
3rd place, first MX1 moto here from Motocross to Ulverton is the 101 Matt Gerke. Damage control, Matt, let's face it, still leading in points. 3rd place, not where you want to be, but a good moto nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks. I was up there at the beginning for a while. And then, yeah, I made a couple mistakes. Medi got me, and then it just felt a little sketchy and backed it down, and I'll try to make some changes and be better next month.
Boy, the Gerkman does not look pleased with his performance there, but Michael De Silva with that Royal Distributing hole shot. Can he do it again? Next.
Welcome back to Ulverton, Quebec in round 9 of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Koster in the booth as we get set for the final moto of the day, MX1 Moto 2. This moto will be brought to you by Couche-Tard, my favorite convenience store in the Quebec region. Riders on the line, Brian. Shadows getting long, sand track super rough. This one's going to be a beaut.
Julia's got the 32nd board up, the lovely L flanking her. All riders now in position behind this finely watered starting line. Julia's 5. Sideways in a moment, you'll see all the riders focus down on the gate. There they go, RPM's up.
Kingsley and the Rockstar models hobble off to the side of the track, and the gate is down, Brian. Super long straightaway to that right-hand sweeper. Who's gonna get that Royal Distributing hole? Yeah!
Woo-hoo! I thought it was the number 3 of Tyler Medallia, but it's the 148 Cole Tommy Gun Thompson with the shot.
What a great line for Thompson on the inside. You're right, Medallia was carrying speed. He looked good. The Thompson got on the inside, crossed that white line, and garnered the lead.
That's 300 quick bucks for Cole Thompson, but it is the 123 of the Aussie Brett Metcalf in tow. Metcalf takes a peek up the inside. Thompson with a mitt full of that KTM, and that is the full factory edition KTM. And that's a light, fast motorcycle, but Metcalf right now making life very difficult for the young Cole Thompson.
The outside line coming up out of that Rockstar Valley, Brian, is a gorgeous part of the track. You carry speed and really scrub off to the side.
And right down in that Marin corner, there is the most rocks, and that is a real steep drop where the riders fly down there about 30, 40 feet, and it is something else. I went down there during qualifying and could not believe the speed these riders are carrying down that section.
Metcalf, a notoriously poor starter when you think about the top 4 or 5 riders in this class. Great to see him up front right now. He hasn't had the season he's wanted, let's face it, with those 2 DNFs, but he's ultra fast and he's been a title contender since the beginning.
Yeah, without question, and of course the pundits are going to say without those DNFs, he may be leading the championship right now. But Cole Thompson out front at 21 years of age. He's over 10 years younger than Metcalf, so he's got a long way to go, and what a feeling it must be to lead this field of established riders.
Let's replay that start, Brian, aboard the number 35, Matthew Davenport, Redline Powercraft Yamaha on the outside. Canary got a great jump out there. Davenport not so good, but it's nice to see how smooth and clean this start is.
Canary knew what he was doing when he picked that outside gate pick. You see him get way up on the left there. There's a little bit of grassy roots there for traction, so Bobby using that experience. Now this downhill is so nasty and gnarly. That's where Tyler Medallion went down in that first moto, getting upset off of all those braking bumps, and then they jumped down here. What a thrilling part of the racetrack.
Engine braking coming into the Motocross. Oh! Metcalf just about loses the front end. Brian, the speeds coming down that hill are absolutely unbelievable. As we said before, you have to be in total control.
Well, I think that is time for an undergarment change for Medi, because boy, did he ever see the world flash before his eyes there. That was close to sampling.
Fresh set of 2-unders for Medi in second place, looking for that inside line cut back on Thompson. Thompson carrying speed, good defense. Square shoulders, I love that style. Here comes Medi with the cut.
What a move by Metcalf. He sure knows how to keep the rider in front of him guessing. He'll go outside, inside. He really mixes it up and knows how to catch the rider off guard and just does that surprise attack. You never know which way he's going to come.
Especially on this track, too, where the lines aren't necessarily definitive. We talked about how you have to flow and look for opportunities. Get on the binders and then twist. Here it is again.
Yeah, he just does that inside-outside, cuts right in, and when you're on the inside, you control the corner. He left Cole a lot of room. He could have really taken him right to the edge of the track. As we get back down to one of the gnarliest parts of the track, and here is the number one, Colton Vasciati, taking the same lines there as Thompson, missing the bumps. Medi jumping down, and here comes, look at that jump down for Vasciati. He is the danger man.
You coined that phrase well, Brian, because that's exactly what it is. He's been waiting and watching, looking for opportunities. He doesn't have to make a pass right now. It's a long moto, just waiting for the right move.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
he's gorgeous to watch, and so is Thompson. And these two, funnily enough, they trained a bit together during the week, so they're good buddies. They don't live that far apart. And of course, Thompson's got that whole training facility at his family property, and Colton Vasciati riding at all different tracks in his region.
That's on the inside. Thompson left that door wide open for Colton. For crying out loud, Vasciati gets on the inside and takes second. The one thing I will say about Thompson is that he's a great rider, but he has to learn how to be more tactful on the track, I think.
Maybe a little more aggressive and a little more bossy, like some of these other guys, and maybe a little meaner.
Oh, Brian! What a crash coming out of that Motul corner. We got a rider down, looks like a KTM. I think it's the 33 of Robinson.
Oh, man, Robinson is limping. Oh, he's crawling off the track. And look at that back wheel, still pinned. The throttle is still pinned on that thing on the right-hand side. And he is starting to get his stuff together. And great to see him moving and up and about, because that was what you call a classic high side with gravity added.
You better believe it. Looks like he's gonna have a Metzger bucket in a second. Visor down over his eyes. Look to the right side of the splitter. Here it is again. Oh my goodness. That is a huge pancake.
No idea how steep that is, people. Like, look on the right. That is steep, and it looks way less steep than the downhill. That thing is hard to walk up, and he just lost his lunch right there.
On the splitter, now we go full screen. This is the battle for the lead. Colton Vasciati has made up a bunch of ground on our leader. 123 at Metcalf over the finish line. Oh, as they cross, whip through there to the Rockstar locked off cam bar to bar fouls. What a race we got.
Blows him away out. Metcalf whips it the wrong way, and this is Vasciati's part of the track to shine. He's the only rider wheeling over those whoops, showing just how crafty he is as well. That is a first place pass, and look how far Yost drops down in there. I don't think Metcalf's gonna have what it takes to get him back after that performance.
That inside line, well, that's actually outside to inside as they come down the hill. You're right, a lot smoother, but man, oh man, you really got to tack into that bottom corner so that you don't sway out. What a beaut.
And right there behind the mechanics for all to see, and Vasciati now is grabbing gears. Here's a replay as he comes down this hill, and no one wants to take those bumps, so they're looking for the smooth lane. Right there, Yost just gets over that kicker. When you hit that kicker, you're going to ride the front wheel and do what Medallion did and go over that berm. No one else is doing that line, and that's what it takes to pass a guy like Metcalf. Yost has got it done.
The control is incredible. To wheelie down that hill over the bumps, it's mind-boggling.
Sick.
Getting back to our battle for what is now third place, Kirky's starting to pull some strings as he moves up on the 148 of Cole Thompson. Again, these are our top 4 riders in the series, with Medallion a close 5th. These guys are a league above everybody else.
Yeah, I think the problem for Tyler is he's not getting sometimes to start to latch onto these guys. When Tyler can latch on, he can run the pace, but a big problem for Tyler is he's all alone. He's got really no gauge, and there's no carrot dangling, so he is riding to a quiet fifth right now.
We'll see what Thompson's got in his bag, though. Right now, you can just tell the mojo's probably down a little bit. He was leading this race back to third place, and then he's got the red-plated Gerke all over him through the Zox corner. Gerke looks pretty good. Thompson carrying speed, though. This track actually suits his style well.
I really like the way Thompson responding there. Gerke showed a wheel, and he just held the course, held his lines, got on the gas. Two real fast motorcycles. Well, all these 450s are super fast. Of course, Gerke's got that Bondi engine, which is known for legendary horsepower.
Working up this little 3-pack per second. Oh, big berm shot for Medi. Thompson on the outside, which goes inside to the hipper. Gerke carrying speed, smooth as silk, Brian, over the finish line to the Rockstar lockoff cam. I think he's got third place. Yes, he does.
Well, you know what's funny about that corner before the finish line? There's guys that are passing on the outside like Gerke just did, and then there's guys making the pass from the hipper on the inside. Now, the dozer Kyle Keast making a play for 8th on the junkyard dog. John Dowd on that 160 Kawasaki. Dowdy, Dowdy fumbles a bit, and come on, Kyle, pick on someone your own age.
Whoa, two veteran sand riders. Brian Kyle Keast, a legend in this country, goes inside on Dowd. Dowd is a legend in motocross, generally speaking, in international circuits. Here it is again, Brian.
Yeah, Keast comes in hot, and Dowdy just kind of marbles a bit, and Keast didn't expect him to be there, so a strict racing incident. But when you go up the hill, you see Dowdy look over, and he's like, oh boy, it's Keast. I think I'm just going to let him go ahead.
Yeah, forget about it, it's Keast.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with this dude.
To the number 7 of Bobby Canary coming in to get his last lap flag. Canary sitting right now comfortably in 7th place, matches the number on his plate. I know he's not happy about that. He wants better results, Brian, and he is better than that. To the number 1, Colt Fasciotti. He is our leader with a big whipper down the hill. This is for the clean sweep, Brian. Only 3 riders to do it this season. Metcalf, then Gerke, now Fasciotti.
What a ride for Fasciotti, and it's wonderful that these French-Canadian fans have embraced the English-speaking Fasciotti as one of their own.
What a day of racing here in the MX1 class, Ulverton, Quebec. There's your series points leader, Matt Gerke, 3-3 today. He's not happy. Let's get to our Yamaha leaderboard top 10, second MX1 Moto. Fasciotti, Metcalf, Gerke, Thompson, your top 4. Let's go down to 8th with Kyle Keast, John Dowd, the legend, in 9th, and a top 10 finish for Riley Bruff. Fabs?
With the clean sweep, Colton Fasciotti, we've been waiting for 2 motos in a row. You've done it here in Ulverton. What was the difference today for you?
Honestly, I really don't know. I didn't get a good start that second moto. Maybe that was it. Maybe I needed to come from behind a little bit, and I was able to see their lines. I've seen a few lines that Metcalf had, and they were pretty sneaky. So I was glad I was behind him, finds a couple lines, and just rode smart and smooth, and almost lost her a few times those the last few laps. It was getting gnarly out there.
Every weekend, there just seems to be something going on in your world in these Canadian Nationals. But you're usually always one of the fastest dudes out here.
Well, I can tell you what's going on. Is a heck of a battle out there. I mean, that was exciting. It was fun. Honestly, that was fun. I'm bummed I didn't get the win, but Colton had another gear today. And we pushed 2-2. It was a consistent day. You know, can't complain with that. And what a battle. I was having a great time. We had a better bike package on the Most Energy Thor Kawasaki. Dunlop tires, everything was working good. It just didn't quite have enough, but I'm happy with today. It's good.
To our series points after 9 of 10 rounds. Look at the gap for the lead. It is down to 13 points as we go into our final round of racing. We've got a championship battle on our hand. What a day of racing we had here in Ulverton for round 9 in the MX1 class. Colton Fasciotti tops the box. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and hit mxnationals.ca for all the good stuff. You have been watching the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals, presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. For Brian Coster, I'm Mark Travers. Colton Champagne. We'll see you at round 10 at the Trans 10.